Detective D case series, The Chinese Gold Murders. The Detective D stories, based on the historical figure D Renjie from the Tang Dynasty, have been adapted into English in several forms. The most famous English versions are by Robert van Gulik, a Dutch diplomat and sinologist, who introduced the West to this legendary Chinese judge through detective fiction. Today, we talk about one of them, the Chinese Gold Murders. The setting is in Tang Dynasty China at late 7th century. The main character includes Judge D, a magistrate and detective. The Chinese Gold Murders is the second Judge D novel, written by Robert van Gulik, but serves as a prequel to the series, detailing Judge D's first assignment as magistrate of the fictional district of Pangai, a remote coastal town in Imperial China. The novel combines multiple murder cases and mysterious happenings, intertwining them into a web of deceit, supernatural suspicion, political intrigue, and shrewd legal reasoning. Judge D's arrival and context. Newly appointed as magistrate, Judge D arrives in Pangai under mysterious and dangerous circumstances. His predecessor has been murdered, and the local government appears disorganized, perhaps even corrupt. His arrival is met with fear and superstition. Residents believe the murder is the work of a ghost. D brings with him two trusted lieutenants from later in the series, Ma Jung and Chow Tai, former highway robbers turned loyal assistants, each with unique skills in fighting, spying, and street intelligence. Another assistant, Tao Gan, joins him later in the book. Case 1. The Murder of Judge Wang. The first and most urgent case is the murder of Judge Wang, Judge D's predecessor. Rumors suggest he was killed by a ghost in a locked room. D suspects a more worldly explanation. This locked room mystery sets the tone for the rest of the novel. Through methodical investigation and questioning, D uncovers that Judge Wang was killed by a needle laced with poison, placed inside a book he regularly consulted. The true motive is linked to Wang's discovery of smuggling and corruption involving senior figures in Pangai. The supposed supernatural circumstances are slowly deconstructed through logic and deduction. Case 2. The Smuggled Gold. Another major thread is the illegal smuggling of gold along the coast. Judge D's investigation reveals that gold is being trafficked out of the empire in violation of imperial law. This case connects to various high-level merchants, boatmen, and government staff, indicating a conspiracy. Eventually, D uncovers that the gold smuggling is closely linked with Judge Wang's murder. The same criminal ring wanted him silenced. Judge D's approach is both rational and bold. He uses undercover operations, baiting traps, and logical inference to identify the ringleaders. Case 3. The Dead Bride. A side case involves the discovery of a dead young bride murdered on her wedding night. Her body is found strangled, and suspicions fall on her groom, who behaves strangely. But the truth is more tragic. The killer is her father-in-law, who murdered her to cover a prior scandal. D treats the emotional consequences delicately, as this crime exposes family shame, social pressure, and Confucian expectations. It's also an example of how Van Gulik often incorporates human emotion and moral ambiguity into Judge D's otherwise rational worldview. Superstition versus rationalism. The entire town of Pangai is steeped in superstition, from ghost stories to fortune tellers. One temple is believed to be haunted, and the populace often sees supernatural causes behind every misfortune. Van Gulik uses this to contrast Judge D's Confucian rationalism and forensic logic. Judge D doesn't dismiss spiritual belief outright, but he systematically disproves hauntings and omens through evidence. For example, the supposed ghostly presence in Judge Wang's murder turns out to be a smokescreen, literally and metaphorically, used by the killer to confuse the public and authorities. Detective methods and forensics. Judge D's investigation involves autopsies and examination of corpses for time, manner, and cause of death, use of disguises and informants to gather intelligence in taverns, brothels, and among merchants, careful interrogation using psychological insight to expose lies or fear, traps and staged events to provoke confessions or expose suspects, cross-referencing alibis and witness reports. This investigative style mirrors modern detective fiction but remains rooted in the Chinese legal system, where a confession is essential for a conviction, even if obtained through clever legal manipulation rather than brute torture. Judge D as a character. In the Chinese gold murders, we see a younger D, idealistic but already firm, shrewd, and just. His dedication to Confucian principles is unwavering, but he's not rigid. He shows empathy for victims, leniency where possible, and cleverness when confronting criminals. Unlike Western detectives like Sherlock Holmes, D is a judge, administrator, and police chief in one. He not only solves the case, but passes sentence and ensures justice is carried out according to law. Action and martial arts. The novel isn't just cerebral. There are action sequences, including fights, ambushes, and a nighttime raid on a gold smuggling operation. D's assistants, especially Ma Jung and Qiao Tai, provide muscle and comic relief, and their backgrounds as reformed criminals give them credibility in underworld circles. Themes and style. Justice versus corruption. D fights institutional decay as much as individual criminals. Truth versus superstition. Enlightenment and logic slowly illuminate a town gripped by fear and myth. Law and order. The Tang legal code is both a tool of fairness and a source of dramatic tension. Chinese values. Loyalty, filial piety, reputation, and hierarchy influence both crime and punishment. Van Gulik uses clear, almost minimalist prose interspersed with moments of poetic description, especially when portraying landscapes or the inner thoughts of Judge D. Each case is resolved with moral clarity, but not without emotional complexity. Conclusion. In the end, all cases converge. Judge Wang's murder, the gold smuggling ring, and the other mysterious deaths into a cohesive resolution. The town regains stability, and Judge D earns the respect of both citizens and the imperial court. The Chinese gold murders stands out as a tightly plotted, intelligent, and culturally rich mystery novel. It introduces readers not only to Judge D as a character, but also to the legal, philosophical, and moral frameworks of ancient China. Robert Van Gulik succeeded in creating a detective who, while fictionalized, feels authentically rooted in Chinese tradition. Welcome to Quanrong Gallery, where we proudly present exceptional Asian art through auctions and buy it now listings. Please see the description below for more details. Our upcoming auction will be held online on May 21st, 2025 at 4 p.m. EST. Thank you for tuning in and supporting us.